Thursday. I'm your host, Reverend Mary Hawk, and with me is Reverend Don Lewis.
Hello, hello.
Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure. And as usual, we will be doing 3-card, more or less, tarot readings, generally more.
Yeah.
So, if you have a question, for us, go ahead and post it in chat.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a question, just say hi and tell us where you're from.
Yes.
And how are you doing tonight?
I'm good. Thank you. And how are you tonight?
I'm good. It did not rain here today. For a change.
I don't think it did here either. For a little while, it was very rainy.
Yes, well, it's going to rain this weekend, so. I was playing with Hella in the yard, and I could see all her muddy footprints.
Yes.
And my, how our grass has grown.
Yes, indeed.
Hey, Selma, good to see you. How are you doing today?
Good evening, Salama.
And hello to Janet. Good
Hello,
to
Janet.
see you.
From Columbus, Ohio.
Yes, and I'm coming to you from close to Nashville, Tennessee.
And I am coming to you from Danville, Illinois.
I'm in Gallatin, Tennessee, but absolutely no one has ever heard of Gallatin. Except for, ironically, the 2 people I have met over the years who are from Gallatin.
Oh, yes.
Janet says the rain has quit, but lots of pollen. And Lena has a question about a job. Do you see me getting a new job? I have an interview on Sunday. Well, let's pull some cards about that.
So the first card that I've drawn is the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands is a card of satisfaction, prosperity, good things. With it, we have the Queen of Coins, which is money and prosperity and good things. If this had been a third queen, I would have been quite taken aback, but no, it's the Two of Swords, which is an alliance, a partnership, help from another person. Looking at those, I'm inclined to say yes. I'm inclined to say that you will be finding yourself a new job, and that this will involve another person in some way. Let us draw the infamous Brian card for you. We've drawn the Five of Wands, and the Five of Wands says there may be some conflict around this. It may be internal conflict. It may not be exactly what you want, but yes, it's coming. And there you go.
Okay. Well, I have drawn the Fool, and the Fool indicates starting in a new direction, new beginnings. I had the Seven of Lamps, and that indicates letting go of the past and what doesn't serve you. And then, interestingly, I've got the Nine of Lamps, which says, don't overthink the situation. So I would say that this is a very positive reading. And good luck to
Yeah.
you.
Absolutely.
And let us know how it goes. And now Selma has said, may I have a reading for the month of June with respect to new job opportunities? Because I'm seriously challenged with the current one.
Well, the first card I've drawn is the Sun. Sun is success and good fortune. It's followed by the Princess of Lamps, which is using magic in your own interest, which pretty much means what it says. Use your metaphysical abilities to help manifest what you desire. And then our third card is the Ace of Lamps, which says, well, yes, use your metaphysical abilities, but also stay in touch with your higher self. Make sure that you're pursuing what you really want. Taking the three of them together, though, I would be inclined to say that you could do quite well with a new job in June. Use a little magic to help push it along, and make sure that you're focused on what you really want. Let's draw again the infamous Brian card. Well, we've drawn the Magos, which is the ability to get what you want, the ability to work your will in the situation. So, yes, I would say you absolutely can do it. You just have to actually do. And again, use a little magic, focus with a little bit of spirituality. And I think it should come to pass successfully for you.
So the first card I've got is the Queen of Pentacles. So this is a very fortunate card in matters of money, jobs, anything in the material realm. I've got the Stars, and this is about appealing to your higher power, however you see that. I've got the Ten of Wands, which suggests it might take a little bit to manifest. And I'll draw a Brian card. And I've got the Eight of Lamps, which is again about a new direction. So yes, I think that is very positive for you.
Cool.
You can manifest a new job for yourself. And Lena says, thank you. Sean says, blessed be to you both.
And to you.
Julie says, please let me know what my life has in store. Now we need to put a time frame on that, Julie.
How about through the summer?
Yeah, let's say what your life is going to look like this summer. And she also says desire is different from what you deserve. And Selma says, okay, thanks so much.
Yeah.
We'll do a reading for Julie for what your life is going to look like this summer.
My first card is the King of Lamps. And the King of Lamps is meditation and self-knowledge. So it says that you'll be very well advised to use these months to be clear on who you are and your relationship to your life and the universe. Do not let yourself get distracted from self-knowledge. It's very important. With it, we have the Five of Swords. And the Five of Swords says, you may feel like some of the things around you are not where you want them to be. It may feel a little bit like you're being held down or oppressed by circumstances. But then we have the Nine of Cups to finish that out. So we start with the need to know yourself, with things around you maybe not being where you'd want them. But it's followed by the Nine of Cups, which is the Wish card, which brings us back to knowing yourself. The Wish card is both the best card in the deck and the worst card in the deck at the same time, because it means be careful what you wish for. It's what you will get. Or in other words, put your focus on what you want to have. Manifest it through your attention. But understand that, and this is kind of relevant to something Julie said just a few minutes ago. This isn't necessarily about what you consciously desire so much as what you're subconsciously manifesting. So going back to the King of Lamps, make sure your conscious desire and your subconscious manifestation are going in the same direction. Be careful of crossed wires. Be careful of thinking you want one thing when you're really kind of working on something else. Make sure you're clear on what you want. And let's draw the Brian card. Well, and we get the Queen of Wands when we draw our Brian card, which says, if you do these things, you'll be satisfied with the outcome. But it is very important to be clear on what it is you want and be clear in your own mind, your own nature. Don't worry about all the things going on around you. Worry about what's going on inside you. That's where the issues lie. And there you go.
Okay, the first card I have is the Six of Swords. And the Six of Swords is always about a journey. Although my sense is this is more of a spiritual journey or an emotional journey rather than a physical journey. I've got the Eight of Cups. So whatever you're worried about, it's truly not as bad as you think it is. You see, the man here is terrified, but what's behind him isn't real. And then I've got the Two of Wands. So you have an opportunity to head off in a new direction, start something new. And I'm also going to draw a Brian card. And I've got the Five of Pentacles, which suggests you need to be careful in the material realm. So I'm going to draw one more. And I got the Prince of Wands, which says you've got a lot of unfocused energy right now. So it's going to take some extra effort just to get it focused. So I hope that is helpful. Okay, so next up, Janet W. has asked for a reading. And Julie says I have borderline personality disorders, so I appreciate the option of something new. Well, I'm glad that's helpful. And I am going to throw this up. And we do this just as a service to the community, but if you want to throw us a tip, you can do so at PayPal at maryhawk1968@gmail.com. Tips are appreciated.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, sometimes getting focused is an awful lot of effort.
So for Janet, my first card is the Four of Lamps. And the Four of Lamps is looking for inspiration. Maybe seeking guidance, maybe looking for that next thing. So don't be surprised if you find yourself looking for expansion, looking for growth in your life during these next few weeks. It's followed by the Empress, which is expansion and growth. So you'll be looking for it and you'll be finding it. The Empress is also prosperity, fecundity, all the good stuff. So I would look for you to be in a good situation, but definitely growing your life, growing the things that you do beyond where they've previously been. And then we have the Four of Wands, which is achieving something you've worked for, celebration, good fortune. So altogether, I'd say everything looks very fortunate for the next few weeks, next couple of months, and that there are a lot of new things coming and there's a lot of success in it. So let us draw the infamous Brian card. And we've drawn Fortune. And the Fortune card is getting help from the universe. And it basically says the way you're trying to go right now is the way the universe is already going. So you should find everything a little bit easier. And you may find that what you're looking for may drop into your hands without a lot of effort on your part. And that's great. And there you go.
Okay, so the first card I have for you is Heart. So you do things with a whole lot of passion. You don't do things halfway. And you're really going to be throwing yourself into something with your whole being soon. And I've got the Ace of Lamps, and this is talking about bringing a whole lot of empathy to a situation and looking at it from someone else's point of view. I've got the Prince of Pentacles. And the Prince of Pentacles is talking about doing well in the material realm by building up slowly. And then I'm going to pull one more because we got to have the infamous Brian card. And here we've got the Hierophant. So we have either Isis or her priestess with an offering table in front of her. So this is about working with the gods towards something. So putting it all together, I would say that you are working on manifesting something, or you will be. And you're going to be dealing with someone who's going to require an awful lot of empathy on your part in the very near future.
Oh,
And
boy.
you may, yeah. So be prepared to use your empathy, and you will be able to manifest what you are working on. And I believe we are caught up at this point.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Yeah. Does anyone else have a question for us?
Or is it time for us to be talking heads?
We can
Oh
be
boy,
talking heads.
What should we talk about? You can talk about the
Oh.
difference between a pentacle and a pentagram. Nobody seems to remember that.
And everyone argues about it.
Well, not those who really know. But perhaps that's too pedantic a subject, if you'll pardon the expression.
Do you know what other pagan is from Gallatin?
No.
Jason Menke.
Really? I had no idea.
Really?
Alrighty then, I would not have thought that.
I wouldn't have either, but I was doing an interview with him.
Yeah.
At the Pagan Unity Festival, and I said something about having a relatively long ride in front of me back to Gallatin, and he said he'd gone to Gallatin High.
Oh, wow. Very cool.
Yes. But do enlighten us on the difference between a pentacle and a pentagram, now that you brought it up.
Well, a pentagram is a 5-pointed star, with or without a circle. A pentacle is a physical object representing a metaphysical design. The term pentagram comes from the Greek, means mark of 5. Pentagrams go back to ancient Mesopotamia, ancient Greece, ancient Egypt in a slightly different form, where you do find pentagrams in circles representing magic and the afterlife. So it's a very old symbol, and that is what pentagram means, but pentacle is a much more recent word. It is a medieval word that comes either from Old French or Old Italian, where it was pentacle, meaning hanging from a collar. It was originally a medallion. And if you read the grimoires, you'll find all kinds of designs for pentacles. And the idea was when you were doing that sort of ceremonial magic, you'd wear the pentacle, and you'd have the sigil on the altar. And there were all kinds of different ones. But today, some people think these terms mean the same thing, and they don't. Later, the term pentacle came to also mean things like altar pieces showing these metaphysical designs. And I would say I come from the point of view we can also include things like rings and other physical objects. But it's not a design, it can be any design. And if you look at historical pentacles, they're only occasionally also pentagrams. Sometimes they are, but only occasionally. I've been following a page called, I think it's Wicca for Beginners or something like that. I'm not quite sure how this came to be on my page, but it shows up every day, and I've been watching it, and they mess this up all the time. I don't know.
Does this count as a pentacle since I wear it a lot?
Yes, I would say that would count as a pentacle.
It is a triquarta. It's probably not going to show. The inner designs are probably not going to show up well, but it's a triquarta with several smaller designs, including a pentagram in it up at the top.
I know there are all kinds of pentacles specified in the old grimoires, but it's not all they can be. It's like sigils. If you're only following grimoire practice, there are a specific set of sigils, but people use sigils in many other ways today. And it's the same with pentacles. They can be not only those designs, but many others. And I'm a great believer in the idea of expanding meanings, but you can't really take it the other way with much success, in my opinion. So tonight's moment of pedantry brought to you by Reverend Don Lewis.
And Janet says, it's true. I do things with so much passion in my heart. Lately, feeling I need to change things up a little bit. Thank you both. And you are most welcome.
Yes, indeed. And of course, we're right on the edge of the blue moon, which is in Sagittarius when it comes. And that's always cool. I have always associated the blue moon with Moose Mass, which basically observes the inherent humor of existence. Because Moose Mass, the term was created by Amber Kay 40 or 50 years ago. And for her, it was not associated with the blue moon. It was just a movable Sabbat that celebrated the great moose, who, for want of a better way to put it, is the trickster god of the universe. And it was celebrated with jokes and humor and things like that. To me, it's representing that chaotic energy, the chaos moment when all things are possible.
Okay.
And the blue moon represents this because it represents the disconnect between the lunar and the solar calendars. Because, of course, a blue moon is the second full moon in a solar month,
Right.
which is not possible in a lunar month. And therefore, it reminds us of how absurd the universe can sometimes be.
And every time I hear the word blue moon, I hear Shana Na singing Blue Moon because my dad liked the group Shana Na.
I remember
And I heard that long before I knew I was a witch. So I'm hearing Bowser going blue, 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 blue.
But now imagine Bowser doing that while dressed in a fuzzy brown robe, and it's perfect for Moose Mass.
I'm more or less picturing Bullwinkle singing with Bowser's voice at this point.
That's perfectly on point. Because, sometimes we do have to recognize that as orderly as the universe is, it does like to jump that shark every now and then.
And yet you've stayed in my house and seen the chaos that just erupts here from time to time for no apparent reason.
Yeah, that is how the universe works.
When stuff just suddenly disappears and leaves me and Sissy yelling, okay, fairies, bring it back now,
Yep.
right now.
Well, change is the only constant.
Very true.
One of the things that we often talk about, well, actually in the rituals we do, the line comes up frequently that when you reach the moment of perfection, then you must change. And that is that chaos moment. And a lot of times in the cards, you will come to things that represent that chaos moment when you can do all kinds of different things because the old pattern is broken, the new one isn't there yet. And really all magic is in that moment, because it's all about breaking the old pattern and creating a new one. And Janet also used to watch Sha Na Na, the Sha Na Na show back in the early 70s. I remember that.
Yes.
So, do we have any more
And
questions?
I still have Bowser doing Blue Moon in the back of my head. I'm probably going to have to listen to something else when we're done here to get Bowser and Bullwinkle out of my head.
Yes.
Or maybe they'll just stroll through my dreams tonight. We'll have to see.
Oh. Natasha and Boris Badenov can do the backup.
Mm-hmm. Incidentally, did you happen to notice that our friend Lucy named her Russian blue cats Natasha and Boris?
I did not. That's cool.
Yes, her cats, Tasha and Boris, are Russian blues. That's how they got their names.
Okay. Cool. Well, we could talk about
Okay,
current events, but that's too depressing.
what?
Current national events, current international events.
Mm, well,
Too depressing. Vaguely entertaining, but too depressing.
oh yeah, we could do a reading on the fate of the WWE ring on the front.
On the list of things I never thought I would live to see.
Yeah, the theory about the rodent and the Hadron Collider throwing us off into some really weird timeline because while I've played around with writing science fiction, I would never, even if I had thought of this, I would never have tried to write it.
Thinking back 20 years, that's exactly what it seems like. It, many aspects of the current day are not something that I think any of us of our generation would have seen coming
No,
unless we worked for The Simpsons or the movie Idiocracy.
yeah, yeah.
So apparently some people did kind of see it coming. But
Well, I wasn't watching The Simpsons as a divination.
no, but in retrospect, you almost could have been.
Truly sad. So, does anyone else have a question for us?
Questions, questions. There must be questions.
So I had my granddaughter this last weekend, and she shared with me that during the pledge, her father is an Asatru priest, I should add. She shared with me that she has been saying One Nation under Odin in school.
Good for her.
I'm really not surprised.
I'm not either. I've met Serena.
Yes. But she was telling me about it and yelling it loudly the last day of school because, after all, who's going to do anything about it?
Yeah.
Nor can they really, but legally.
Mm.
But yeah.
Very cool.
After all, I have been running Nashville Pagan Pride Day longer than she's been alive.
Yeah.
She views pagan festivals as family events.
Yes. They are for her.
Yes. Okay, anybody else got a question for us? Can we do a reading for the White House? What do you want to know about the White House, Janet?
Yeah. Yeah. What specifically?
Do we have to tear the whole thing down and start all over? I remember hearing about a mouse infestation when Jimmy Carter was president.
Mm-hmm.
I was in 5th grade, I think.
So I assume we're talking about the building, not anything else. So, well, let's see what cards we get.
What's going to happen with the White House? Will it go blue or red?
Oh, well, that's not what I shuffled for. I shuffled for the physical structure.
As did I. Let's see what we get for the fate of the physical structure.
Well, the first card that I've drawn is the Hierophant. And the Hierophant is spiritual guidance. So what I would say is that nothing that's happening here is happening without a spiritual hand involved. I have the Eight of Wands, which talks about things happening quickly. Goddess knows they have been, and apparently they will continue to. And then the Four of Lamps, which is not quite knowing what the future will bring. And I would take that to mean that we kind of need to trust in spirit, but we do not see where things are going with the physical structure at this moment. Which I would take to mean that the announced plans are probably not going to manifest in quite the way they've been announced. And some other things may yet come to pass. And hello to Kayleen.
Okay, and the reason I started laughing is my first card is the Ace of Swords, which says that at some point a decision will need to be made quickly. I've also got the Empress,
Mm-hmm.
which is a loving, nurturing mother goddess card, and an overall fortunate card to have in a reading. And then I also got the Four of Lamps. So I would agree that there are things going on that we don't see right now.
Oh my goodness. So I've drawn 3 cards for whether the White House will go blue or red. The cards I've drawn are magic, which means exactly what it sounds like. The Princess of Lamps, which is using magic in your self-interest. And Fortune, which is getting help from the universe. So the way I would take that is that there is or will be very much a magical battle going on over that answer. Let me draw
Right.
the Brian card.
I am shuffling for that now.
The Brian card is the Two of Lamps, which is uncertainty about the future. So they're not going to tell us. Mine, at least, are not going to tell us, but they are going to say, yeah, it's not all being decided in the physical world. And we kind of choked on that, which is a bit of an omen in itself.
Because the answer is in play.
Mm-hmm.
All righty.
Whoever does the biggest magic.
I got the Ace of Wands. Use your passion. I got the Queen of Swords, which is a card that frequently represents me. But it's also talking about look at what worked in the past and what did not work in the past, folks.
Yeah, that's
And
kind of an
base your
important thing.
and base your actions on that. I have the Eight of Wands. Things will move very, very quickly. I would say overall that if Reverend Don got magic is called for, I also got that directed will and actual physical action of the correct kind is called for.
So there you go.
And interestingly, the Brian card,
Mm-hmm.
Four of Pentacles, and the Princess of Cups, which is don't hold back.
Mm.
It'll be filed on 2 fronts.
At least.
Oh, yeah.
Do we have any more questions?
Don't sit this one out.
Well,
Do not decide you don't like the way someone laughs or their emails or anything else.
Well, I would say, and this is true in life in general, you got to consider the likely outcome of your actions.
Yes.
Ideal situations are basically irrelevant in real world circumstances. The question is, can you achieve anything? And can you get it somewhere near what you want? Because perfection is not likely to be coming. I was looking at a situation the other day. I'm not going to say what it was, but people were all up in arms about it. Happened 10 years ago. And I remember looking at this and saying, are the people who did this actually pleased with the results that they got? It did not remove the people that they did not like. It did not deplatform, in terms of their own communities, the people they did not like. It did remove the platform that they'd all been previously sharing. Or in other words, they may arguably have won their battle, but they lost their war. And I doubt that they noticed. I've always been very focused on practicality, particularly in that sort of situation where the things you're doing are going to affect your life. You need to make the practical decisions to try to get what you want, not to feel good in the moment, but lose the actual fight. Or as Ed likes to put it, do you want to be right or do you want to be successful? And this is a question a lot of people don't seem to understand. I mean, it doesn't matter that you were 100% right if you could not achieve what you were doing. It's a nice footnote in an article somewhere. Oh, so-and-so was right, but they failed. And, as the head of the Correllian tradition for 40 odd years, this is something I had to pay attention to. Now that I'm retired and I am first priest emeritus, I don't have to think about these things anymore. But for a long time, the actual result of actions was something that not only affected me, but everyone around me. And I think sometimes people get caught up in self-delusion and lose their physical issues because of their internal issues, lose their external because of the internal. And I think that this topic about, because I mean, what you are referencing is people who won't vote for a certain candidate because they're not ideal, when the opposite candidate is everything they claim they don't want.
Yes.
This is breathtakingly stupid. It's not misguided. It's not, certainly not highly idealistic. It's just plain stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Because the ideal choice is not there. It's not going to be there next time either.
It will never be there.
It's never been there.
Never has been, never will be.
Arguably, if you come from a very different mindset from mine, and all you care about, well, let's say the only thing you care about is the triumph of racism. If that's the only thing you care about, there are some ideal candidates for you. However, it better be the only thing you care about, because most of the other things they bring aren't going to be good for you.
No.
But anyway, enough politics. We have a question.
Yes. And hello to Kylie. Good morning to you in Australia.
Yes.
I'll be going to bed shortly in Tennessee. And Lynn Townsend is asking for a reading and having a hard time getting through. I'm sorry, Lynn. And Colleen says, don't forget to click on like. Thank you.
Thank you, Kayleen. Okay, here we go. We can do it. I know we can. One card for Lynn. Two cards for Lynn. Three cards for Lynn. First card is Temperance. What this says to me is that where Lynn is going to find themselves in the next few weeks is creating new situations out of old situations, revitalizing their situations. It's not a total change. It's drawing on what's already there, but it's making it new. So an upgrade, for one better way to put it. With it, we have the Queen of Lamps, which is magic. And the Queen of Lamps says to use your magic and your spirituality in informing your life. So as you're having that renewal and that revitalization, don't be afraid to involve your spiritual guidance and your spiritual expression. And then we have the Prince of Swords. And the Prince of Swords says, yeah, be good and selfish about this. When the Prince of Swords comes up, it usually means that the person is giving away the farm. Do not give away the farm. When I first started reading, more than 50 years ago, more than 50 years ago, I understood this the way most people do. The Prince of Swords is selfish and self-centered and so forth. But what I found as a reader is it actually wasn't saying that about the querent, it was advising it. And I was finding this would come up when people were not being sufficiently self-centered, when they were being too altruistic, too generous, too understanding. Don't do that in this situation. Focus on what you need. Make sure you get what you need, because nobody else is going to do it for you. And with that, go ahead and revitalize your life. Let us draw the infamous Brian card. Why is it infamous? Because, of course, it is. And we have drawn the Hanged Man. And the Hanged Man says, we're talking about revitalizing your life, and you are, but it is going to be a process. It's not going to be overnight. It's going to take a little time to do. You must be patient with that. You must be patient with yourself. And again, make sure you stay focused on what you need. And, the story of the Hanged Man, at least this particular Hanged Man, is the story of Odin, who hung himself on the Tree of Life in order to acquire the secret of the runes, which required a great deal of focus and self-sacrifice. This is saying that, and also patience, to get what you want, you have to be prepared to do all the work you need to do for it and wait for it to take its shape. But it's coming and it's worth it, as the runes were worth it for Odin. Again, use your magic, use your good self-interest. Not saying to be harmfully selfish, but needfully selfish. Make sure your needs are met. And yeah, a lot of revitalization coming from that. And there you go.
So I have drawn the Two of Pentacles. So this is about learning new things. And I have the Soul card. So here we see Gaia as a mother with her child, and this is about life lessons, karmic lessons. You are learning some necessary lessons right now. And then I've got the Five of Wands. So you are also dealing with a lot of conflict. And I'm going to pull the infamous Brian card. And I've got the Ace of Cups. And cups are about our emotions. So pay close attention to your emotions right now. And be real with yourself about what you're feeling. And I don't want to say, when I say be careful how and when you express it, with all the conflict going on, don't let yourself blow up in a situation where it's going to do you more harm than good. If you need to let it all out, find a safe place and a safe person to do that with. So I hope that is helpful.
Yes, indeed. And folks, you've seen a transformation tonight. You've seen the Brian card evolve into the infamous Brian card, because it's going to be that forever now.
The infamous
so
Brian card. I'll have to let him know that.
Yes.
All right, and we are up to the top of the hour. So will you close us out with a word of prayer?
Certainly. Divine Mother Goddess, Divine Father God, beloved ancestors, we thank you for all that you do for us in our lives, and we ask you to be with us and to guide us as we go forward and to help us to see the things that lie in store for us and all that we can do to make the best of them. Help us to make our lemons into lemonade and enjoy the ride as we go through this very remarkable life and these very remarkable days that we are living through. Beloved Mother Goddess, beloved Father God, beloved ancestors, we thank you with great love, and we ask you to continue to bring us many good things. And knowing you are always with us, still from respect, we thank you for your presence, and may you be blessed now and always. And may you be blessed now and always.
Blessed be everyone, and we will see you next Thursday.
Yes.